Hello, I'm Myles Weber, host of the Two Tired Parents podcast. Today we have a very, very candid conversation, but we do want to issue a warning. There is talks of some sensitive materials, i.e. gun violence. So if you're sensitive to anything to do with that subject, this is your warning to mentally and emotionally prepare yourself as we have a very candid but very important conversation with our guest today. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Two Tired Parents podcast. I'm Myles Weber.
I'm Heather Weber.
We are tired.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Oh, every second of every day. 28/7. That's math that I'm not going to do, mostly because I can't. I am excited, though, as we both are, for our guest today. Yes, today we have a special one. We're sitting down with our friend Justine, who is a mother who has walked through every parent's worst nightmare, losing a child to gun violence. But this isn't just a story of loss. It's a story of what happens when a mother's love refuses to stay silent. We're talking about the In Harmony Music Foundation, how she found the strength to turn grief into melody, and how we can all find a bit of light in the darkest seasons. Thank you so much for being here, Justine.
So much for having me.
Absolutely. Our pleasure, really.
Yeah. We're excited to have you here. Before we talk about the foundation, we do want to talk about your son. When you close your eyes and you think of him, what is one specific memory or spark of his personality that always makes you smile first?
Just the biggest personality in the room.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Always like just talking a lot, really connecting with people.
Really connecting with people, really about connection. So I think that's why we're here, and that's why we're continuing to do what we're doing. And also just not really holding back in a way that we all tend to do. Societal norms, etc. He said what had to be said, and mostly to advocate for others and motivate others. And I couldn't be more proud.
Was he one that when he walked into the room, like everybody just kind of gravitated towards him?
Absolutely.
I love that. That's amazing. Those are always the best people to be around.
Yes.
So.
Yes. He would love to hang out with you too.
Oh.
So yes, on the Two Tired Parents podcast, we do talk about the exhaustion of daily parenting. But there's a different type of exhaustion that comes with navigating life after a loss like yours. So how has your perspective on parenting changed or evolved since his passing?
Ooh, well, now I'm a parent to a child in heaven, which is a totally different kind of parenting. And I think it's still an active form of parenting. So that's really interesting, especially with the connection that I've found with him. Wherever we want to say he is now, it's just completely different. And so it's exhausting to have the grief every single day. But then there's so much light in that connection. So I'm grateful to be tapping into his very big personality still every day.
Do you feel like a lot of it is almost a balancing act? Like if maybe a sadder thought comes in, trying to balance it out with maybe like the light or the positivity aspect of it, just to keep your sanity, I feel like is a good way to put it.
Really good question. I think I've learned, it's taken this long, that I need to just sit with the sadness and just turn off during those times. And there will be lighter times. There will be easier days. But we have to sit with that weight of the grief 100% and not try to wipe it out, which I think I've done a fair share of.
Yeah, of course. Well, and I think that goes with anything in life, but especially if you're at a sad point, I think we've trained ourselves like, okay, I can't be sad. I need to do this thing or I need to do this thing. And so like you're saying, to sit in it and be okay with it and whatever that looks like for you. Have you found things to help during that time?
You know, I have to say my work with kids has helped, as hard as it is to do, to show up and sing with kids and laugh and be joyful with kids. It does help. And it was really interesting. I didn't think I could go back to this work when he died. And there was about a year and a half I just could not teach. I would find however I could to have my classes covered and have our business still going. And I was reading all these books. How do you get through? What are you supposed to do? And it's like drumming, music, connect with people, community. Wait, that's what I do for a living. So let me just get back to that in whatever capacity I can. I also didn't have a choice financially, had to get back out there, but I'm grateful for that push because I have the best job in the world. And the kids are where it's at. They're so unfiltered. They're so joyful. They have so much to teach us. And if we just settle into that joyful, playful music and movement, it's the language. It's what we're all about.
That has been something we've really observed in having two little ones of our own. Is there so many things that we try to correct and teach from a societal standpoint of what's quote unquote acceptable. And we've got a very curious kid who, Robin's 4 now, and he's just like, but why? And how come? Why do we do that? And there's a lot of things that we're just like, this is what we do. And I'm like, I don't have a good answer. I don't have a good answer for you. And so that's the thing where you're talking about, like, if we can learn to listen to kids, they're so smart and they're supposed to teach us. Because I think there's so many things in society that we do. It's just like, no, he's got it right. Like, you mean to tell me he just wants to run around in a field eating berries, playing all day and like do and we can't? Like,
right.
What are we doing?
Well, I think we're so quick to say that that's the wrong way. And so I've really tried to make a point at home of whatever his imagination is saying, there's no wrong way.
Yes.
You want to color that color? You can color that color. If you believe those are the song lyrics, cool. Like, I'm only going to correct so many things if it's not hurting anybody. And I think when we try and put especially in music, if we try and put a ceiling on where their creativity can go, then we don't have the greats that we have now when it comes to those things.
In our household, and I feel like a woman by Shania Twain will always be referred to as the llama song. Just
Man, I feel like a llama.
Yeah. He was in the back of the car. He's like, I want to listen to the llama song. And I was like, what is that? Do you know what it is? She's like, sing it for me. And he's like, dun, 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 dun. And she laughed. She's like, is this it? And I was like, you got it off of 2 hums? That's amazing. Yep. And sure enough, it was Man, I Feel Like a Woman. It's because he thinks it says, Man, I Feel Like a Llama. And I'm like, that's so much funnier.
So much better.
That's so much better.
I really do have the way.
Yeah.
For, I guess, timelines on things for people that don't know. So you already had your business before then.
Yes. How long ago from today did this happen? So we know, like, the timeline.
This was December 2018.
Okay. So we're talking about 6 years or so.
And then how long did you already have your company before then?
I started it in 2003. So
okay.
Again, with the math.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, like, that's 15 years, right? Like, because 2018, so that's 15 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I started in harmony music for him because I was a single mom here in this area. There was really nothing creative for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, go to swim class, learn a skill. Go to soccer, learn a skill. But how do we create and like express the way we want to express? Mm-hmm. So in harmony music was started for him in the same way the foundation was later started for him.
That's beautiful. And I mean, like you were saying earlier you're grieving, but you also like have to pay bills. And so forcing that timeline for good or for bad at least got you back into doing what you love.
Well, because I feel like I feel like this light switch for change exists in all of us. I think we just as humans have a habit of waiting to flick the switch until we're absolutely like pushed beyond our breaking point of like, fine. And we flick what could have been flicked earlier out of frustration, right? Or like whatever we're going through in that present moment. So you said for you, like, this thing happens and then a year and a half goes by where you're trying to reason with the grief and the brevity of the situation. And then you're then forced to flick that switch just because it was just like, I got to get back to work. I got to do this thing. So like, is that the moment for you where that switch flicks, or is there a different moment before then that leads to that moment?
Lots of flickers going on.
Yeah.
I'd say I had to get back to the teaching to pay the bills. Mm-hmm. And in all of this, I'm noticing, gosh, there's no support. I haven't heard from one foundation, one company, one support system to say, wow, your only child was just murdered. What do you need? Mm-hmm. And so I realized, gosh, we have to create resources. We have to create a space. We have to create people that can connect with people who are in their darkest hour. Mm-hmm. So that's where the foundation then came in. And I thought, well, yes, we have our music classes and the foundation covers our music program for any family suffering tragic loss. Mm-hmm. So there's that. And then there's also community outreach. Mm-hmm. So that's something we're building now where something tragic happens. Hey, this is us. Whenever you need something, please just reach out and we hope to help you find what you need.
I love that. And that's such a beautiful thing. And for us, we got to witness it firsthand year before, whenever you hosted the event.
Yeah.
And man, the community that you've built is pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
For it to really be around, like you said, something tragic happening, but still feeling such a light around the people and the events that you're holding is like this beautiful balance that I'm sure you've worked so hard to make happen. So yeah, that was just beautiful to be a part of. So thank you.
Thank you so much for being there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And sharing that with me. And I'm grateful that the community has chosen me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't take any credit for creating that, but they've shown up. And I love that what they've created together.
Yeah.
And so that's a really beautiful thing.
How have you, I can only put this from like something that I've gone through where a tragic thing happens. It's very easy to be triggered by certain things you see, you hear. And so when you're starting a foundation for people that have gone through a similar thing, how do you, I guess, protect your own self when it comes to hearing those stories and finding that balance of being involved, but not getting back to a place you don't want to be at, if that makes sense?
That's such a good question. And I don't know how others would answer that because all of this is very unique.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's a certain level of numbness, to be honest with you, that comes after this. And it's a protective survival measure. So I do feel like I'm able to interact with people without getting into the depths with them. I'm already there.
Yeah.
And so I've always felt that pain. So even before my child died of gun violence, we were out there advocating. He did the first walkout against Trump. He was an advocate for people in such a big way. And Las Vegas, shooting after shooting, it just crushed a part of my soul as a mother. So I just think, oh, thanks. It's just, there's a whole network of people who are already feeling the depths of the despair depths of despair, if that makes sense. You two are feeling it to some capacity because you're parents. We're all seeing that children in this country are not protected. We don't have a way to protect them. And so there's this kind of universal feeling of grief. And in a way, it sounds crazy. There's a superpower I have now because once you lose your only child, you don't care.
Yeah.
There's nothing left.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'll say anything. I'll do anything. I'll put my life on the line for somebody who needs it. I will walk in those dark places with anybody. And there's no problem with that. So it's a superpower.
There is a fearlessness
Yeah.
that I feel like to survive, you have to adapt. It's this means of being the light in the darkness as a means of survival, of just like there has to be some type of light for me to be able to navigate through this. And when you're able to find that light, like you said, being able to help others walk through it so fearlessly, you've taken the most important thing in the world away from me. Do you really think I'm going to not say the thing because I'm worried about what you're going to do or what you're going to say? There isn't anything you do. So yeah, I do see where that is such a superpower.
And turning the darkest time into the superpower, I think, is I don't want to say a beautiful catalyst, but a beautiful thing that you're able to do in the face of that.
Well, and that's something we talk about a lot, and we've spoken briefly on this podcast because we are proponents of everything happens for a reason. But there's a line where that I feel like as a sentiment becomes insensitive to people who have gone through really tangible things, because then it's almost just like, oh, so my son had to die because, so it had to happen for a reason. And so then we started to try and come up with a more clear way of relaying that sentiment, which is, I think that things do happen for a reason. But beyond that, there's a grief in some of the things that happen where it switches from everything happens for a reason to you don't get to pick the catalysts in your life that are going to catapult you into change in a positive way. And I think that's where it comes from. Like, you've got this tragic thing that happens, and a byproduct of that tragedy is the love and support that you build in this community, and the work that you're able to do, and how it's becoming more meaningful. I think about like Wim Hof, the guy who does the breathing and stuff. Like, he does all the breathing techniques. He started figuring that out because his wife committed suicide and she had bipolar disorder. And he wanted to understand there's got to be a way for this to be treated naturally, or there has to be something that could have like maybe fixed this situation. And now he's the breathing guy. He's the guy that everybody studies. It's just like, oh yeah, we sent him to hike up a mountain in the snow in his underwear and he was able to breathe through it. And now we've injected him with diseases. He breathes through it. And so it's just like, did that happen for a reason? I mean, I think more importantly is like that was a catalyst for him to step into the person who he is more helpful to more people. And that's a real hard thing to wrestle with. Did you find yourself wrestling with seeing the impact after this tragedy of like how impactful the light that you bring to other people in your community is, but also just the why did I have to go through this? Like, was there a wrestling internally with you in that?
There's always a why. There's always a wait, I did all the right things. There's always a why. But there's so much choice, to your point about that man. There's so much choice in what we do and what tiger we feed. And we're all faced with so much negativity just in everyday life. But every day we're making these choices. It's just a different level, right? And so who do I want to be is a question that one of my favorite therapists says. Who do I want to be? How do I want to show up? And it kind of gets you out of what happened, what's going on with these feelings. Okay, they're there, but who do I want to be? And that's different for everybody. I've always wanted to be somebody who can lift people up and bring a certain energy. Everything is energy, right? So if we're letting that negative, dark energy win, it's by letting it take up all the space in us. The more we can counteract that individually and collectively, we're creating change just by the energy we're bringing. So,
and I think I just saw maybe even this morning of like these tiers of things, and I think everything starts with whatever your intention is, and sometimes whatever that intention is isn't always the easiest to put out. But eventually when you keep up with those intentions, it just becomes your way of being now. And so I think everything starts with the intention and then where you let it grow from there.
The choices you make. I mean, that's what you would say. Like the choices you make. It's something we tell everybody when we say goodbye to people and they laugh at us. Like we'll say goodbye, like, oh, bye, it was good hanging out with you. Make good choices. And people laugh at us. Because they don't expect us to say something like that. They're just like, what do you mean make good choices? What are you, my dad? And I'm just like, no, but I care about you. And I know that you can really string together a lot of bad choices and call it a bad life. And it'll happen without you knowing. You know, I mean, you can just default to that misery. You can default to that darkness. And I think what you said, you get to choose the tiger you feed. You know, and so like you've got these hungry aspects of your existence where it's like I can give my attention to this or I can give my attention to this. What do you think in your darkest moments of having to wrestle with the grief? What did true helpful support from your tribe of people around you? What did that look like in those moments?
Think about this a lot because it's so individual. So I want to be careful how I'm answering it because it can be really helpful to know just literally, I'm thinking of you because so often there is nothing other people can do. Yes, we can deliver the groceries. We can do these things. We can want to hang out, but consistently being there, people definitely disappear. And I think that's just an easy takeaway for everybody that's watching or listening. Just continue to reach out. It takes nothing to send a text, I'm thinking of you. You don't have to worry about saying the wrong thing. If you say literally, hey, I'm thinking of you. I have to say this was a huge thing. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
This is the first opportunity to actually talk about my son.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you.
Wow. Absolutely.
Of course.
I mean, in seeing you at our friend's, what was that, birthday party?
Yes.
1-year-old birthday party, it jotted my memory, and I text our mutual friend and I was like, do you think it's like stepping over the lines to ask? And she was like, no, hit her up. And so, but absolutely. I was like, oh no, more people, need to hear your story. And I feel like we're very fortunate of the community that is Benicia. It's such a, if you were to tell anybody else in the country that Benicia exists the way it does, they'd be like, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because it's just such a unique community. It's like if you were to take, the Gilmore Girls setting of like, that's what it feels like in so many ways. And so
it's Pleasantville with black people. That's what Benicia is. Welcome.
That's right.
And so I think more people need to hear how to create something like that around them if they so desire, but also to create the community of supporting others with grief.
Yeah.
And I think it's, if people go through grief, when people first have a baby, first have surgery, I would say the first 30 days, people are decent, if not really good, at checking in on you. And then that goes away very quickly. And it's out of sight, out of mind. And so being able, like you said, I try really hard. I have a list of friends that I put reminders in my phone. Hey, I'm thinking of you, sending love. I don't want anything out of it. I just want people to know that I'm thinking of them. And
that's why we looked at each other when you said that, because it's just, she's been trying to get me. She's just, because I'm just dog shit at keeping up with people. I'm so bad with maintaining relationships. I'm an awkward person. I don't know how to be. I don't like people. So I'm always just like, hey, what do I say to this person? How do I check in? She's just like, just say you were thinking of them. I'm like, that sounds dumb. I don't know that. Isn't there more? And then sure enough, I was like, hey, I was just thinking of you. Like everything you're doing is really inspiring, and I see you. And then I get like a crying emoji or a call, and they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. I've been so insecure. And I'm like, what do I do now? Like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
I'm his Shazam for
she is, yeah. You're my Shazam for emotional empathy, like for my friends.
The EQ IQ balance.
Yeah.
You don't realize how far it goes. Like if you're inspired by somebody, tell them. Like even if it's somebody you don't know.
Yes.
Especially in the day and age of social media, you're constantly throwing something to see what sticks. And so if anything somebody's doing is inspiring you, let them know.
I find myself, and I know other people find themselves in the same way. I find myself like not reaching out to people unless I need something, or unless something is most convenient for like me to be around them, and it really is important to have just like motivationless check-ins, just for the sake of like, you crossed my mind. And it made me happy. And, or I was like wondering like, man, I put myself in your shoes and I couldn't even imagine. So I was like, maybe I'll reach out right now. Or maybe they need a coffee or something. So that's very insightful.
Man, I lost my train of thought on it. Oh, of just the check-in aspect, but also where was I going with
I
it?
could build on that.
Yeah, go for it.
You have a minute. The
Yeah.
coffee was huge.
Yeah, okay.
Good friends. The same thing happened in Benicia. We actually have 3 Benicia victims that were young adults. And I won't name them here. Just
Sure.
we haven't talked about it. But
Sure.
probably everybody knows. When that happened to the mom, it showed up at the vigil. That's another thing. Just show up.
Yeah.
Just be there at the community event. Show up at the funeral.
Yeah.
I dropped some coffee on her porch, and that's how she remembers me. She says, you dropped coffee on my porch, and we built a slow relationship from there. Just saying I'm here places that marker so that when she's ready, she can circle back.
There's got to be so much power in somebody who genuinely understands what you're going through in that situation, coming to you and just being like, I know. I know. It's like it's 2 words. You just gotta have open arms and 2 words. It's like, I know. And I'm sure that is so healing, because you're just looking everywhere in your life, and it can be really easy to feed the tiger of anger, resentment, and bitterness of just like, I'm so angry that this thing happened. How come they get to keep their kids? This person's a shithead. How come they get to keep theirs? Like, and so it's really easy to just like get really down in the mouth. And so that's where like you being a person who like doesn't know him from Adam, and showing up and just being like, hey, it happened to me too. And I know I'm here for you. because you got to get it out. And there's not going to be anything that person who knows is going to really say in most cases other than, it sucks. Yeah. It's not right. It's not fair. All of your feelings are valid. And that is huge. 100%.
Well, I think we talked about that on the episode that I was talking about my things of you never know what just holding space for somebody can do for someone. And then what I was going to say a second ago, don't always assume people know what you're feeling.
Yes.
Somebody in this room is very guilty of like, well, they know I care about them. They know how I feel. And I'm like, do they?
It's me.
When's the last time?
I'm the problem. It's me.
It's not the tissue box.
It's not.
Should I hand you a tissue?
Kleenex, our unofficial sponsor.
But don't assume people know that you care about them and the level. I think there's countless times that I'll open up to people and they're like, I had no idea. And I'm like, absolutely. But it was my bad for not expressing that to people. So never assume. Say the nice thing. Give the compliment.
Yeah.
I can build on what you said, Heather, too. The holding space, period. That's it. If we're not even going to do the check-ins, just holding space. And that's something we recently posted on our Instagram. Because now we're also affected by gun violence. We all need to really work on our tools and our toolkits. It's just part of our society now, unfortunately. So holding space is the thing. Just sitting there, not saying anything, which leads me to this power of nonverbal communication, which goes back to the music and the movement and the play. We're not talking about anything because we could easily say the wrong thing. It's so easy to say the wrong thing. But if we're doing these natural things, singing, dancing, trying to find joy or giving each other joy, play, these are just, it's a recipe.
Yeah.
It's really a recipe.
Yeah. Well, and when you're holding space, I think people are like, oh, well, I can't fix the problem, so I can't hold the space. And it's like, you're not going to fix the problem.
No.
So going in with just the mentality of, like you said, finding the fun thing or something to help them navigate it, you're not going to fix it. You're never going to fix it. But you can help them navigate it and find a way that's best for them.
You can help them release a little bit of it. You know, I mean, if you can't be one that's a sounding board. I mean, we've held space for friends who are going through a hard time and we're like, hey, we got this axe throwing kit from Costco. It's made out of foam. Come over and you can have a drink and we'll just let you go hard throwing the axes at that. I came home one day and she was pissed and she's just in the backyard, just throwing these axes at the little foam axes at the thing.
It was my best solo Costco trip purchase. I got home and I was like, hey, I need you to get something out of the trunk. And he's like, you got an axe throwing? I'm like, yes, I did.
You got an axe
You let
throwing?
me go to Costco by myself. So this is what I chose.
With ninja stars and axes, little foam ones. And so, you just throw them. And I mean, we've had friends who've come over and the space that we were able to provide is just like, throw some shit. Here you go.
Yes.
Like, get in there, get
Rage
it out.
rooms are a thing for
Rage
a reason.
rooms. We've
Absolutely,
taken friends to smash rooms and just been like, hey, here's some goggles. Like, we're just gonna go in, like, get it all out. Like, and so if you're not able to hold space in a verbal sense, there's many different ways to hold space.
So true.
And I think the nice thing with music is, of course, there's, I guess, like the right way to play an instrument that is nice for people to hear. We're learning that with our son not knowing how to play the piano.
Yes.
But he's getting joy out of it. And so what you're providing for people, like, there's the lesson aspect, but there's also I really enjoy playing this thing, and getting that like therapy out of it, I think is huge.
And because there's a thing with music, because I mean, it's motivating to me because one of the first things you list off as being helpful is drumming. And I'm a drummer for a long time. And so it's nice to hear that, like, banging around and things is helpful. But to that effect, understanding how to play the instrument properly, you then unlock this new way of playing, which is you are now able to emote with the instrument. Like, once you can make friends with it and learn how to play it properly, that feeling that you feel can be put into music in some capacity. And you could kind of like have this level of therapy musically that is, you know all the keys. If you can just play the song that feels that way, you'll be surprised what comes out. If you can play the drums that way, that is very reminiscent of what is happening inside of you. That could be very therapeutic. Have you seen instances like that?
I was going to challenge you on that.
Oh, let's do it.
We love
Our
challenges.
whole way in
I don't.
Harmony Music and in our music foundation, I know, cut. This one's not gonna make it. Is that we want everyone to just express music naturally. You don't know how to play the piano? That's okay. See what notes come out. And that's really therapeutic. I don't know how to play the drums. but we can all
Hang
hit
around.
something,
Yeah.
right? To the point of
Yes.
your axe throwing. Drumming has that similar physical
It does.
release. And I really want people to have tools to make music naturally for their own well-being. And so I don't think there needs to be a proper training personally.
Nice.
Yes, we offer some of that, but it's very playful and very individualized and personalized.
Awesome.
Because the roots of music throughout the world, right, are not these classical instruments. It's really just, wow, something sad happened. We get together as a community and dance and sing and come together. And that's very primal. And that's really where I think so much of the healing comes. I think it's probably really gratifying if we play a piano really well and it sounds great. And it's another mode too. But just wanted to
that
add
makes
that
sense.
in.
Yeah, no. I mean, this is why we have these conversations, so we could have fresh perspectives of just
I
like.
tell him I disagree all the time. It's fine.
Mostly because I have many thoughts that are disagreeable. I'll say stuff. She's like, no, probably not that. I think on the last podcast
I was going to say, yeah, I was like, no, I disagree.
there was a moment, we had a moment on our last one where she's just like, no, probably not that, probably this. And I'm like, yeah, no, that makes more sense. So
you just got to say it out loud.
no, yeah, exactly. I've got the Heather filter in my head sometimes, and it's nice to run those things through. In the process of you starting such a foundation, if you know, do you have any advice for anybody else who's gone through? I mean, like not the same thing, but they've gone through something in their life that they are using to make whatever they're doing a catalyst for change. Maybe they want to build a foundation similar to this. Like, do you have any advice for somebody who's looking on the ground floor what they would do in that situation?
Yeah, just finding whatever that passion is first. What's the pain point? What do you seeing a need for something is really how all businesses and anything is created, right? You found a need for this space and these conversations. The same thing can happen with anybody experiencing anything. What is that pain point that you feel like you can serve and fill in a need?
I love that. That's I think, like you said, in any business, but especially if it's something that's near and dear to your heart, I feel like also helps you with, you look at businesses, they take a while to get off the floor. They take a while to make your money back that you've invested. And so when you have something in it that you are drawn to, that you love, and if you're using something as a catalyst, you can go through those lulls of maybe you're not where you want to be, but it gives you the drive and the motivation to get there.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you think is the big dream for In Harmony Music? Like, and inversely, what do you think your son would think of how far it's come now?
I'll start with that. I think he's a guiding force in all of it. I think he's very much involved in it. I think there's so much. The foundation can extend into communities worldwide as a support, but definitely across the nation. Just being a place where people can come for resources, because the resources do need to be individualized. It's also personal. I might need a suicide hotline. Maybe I might just need someone to talk to, or I might need a really good therapist who has also lost a child. So there's that. And then In Harmony Music, I think of it now as almost violence prevention, because it's the company that really shows us how to express and nurture well-being through music and the creative arts. So we're planning to continue to grow In Harmony Music, and I think that the more facilitators and the more children and the more schools that we reach, we're kind of being preemptive and violence prevention.
What would you say is the best way for people if they're wanting to connect with schools in that way with a foundation? What's the best way for them to reach out, and maybe the pitches, or like the best way? Because I know so much you have to find the main like county, right? Is start there and go down. But what was the way you've done it?
I'm very rooted in Benicia, as my son was a Benicia boy. So it kind of started there. And we've actually had a lot of districts reaching out to us and wanting to implement the program, which is a great sign. That means
awesome.
we really identify that music can create a culture within school. It goes beyond music education. It just creates something wonderful and really bridges the gap between home and school too, which can really, again, just help everybody.
Yeah. I feel like so much right now when it's discussed, especially in this country, on gun violence, people are very quick to be like, I don't want to talk about it. This is just how it should be. What do you think is the best way to start those conversations and to listen to the other side, even if maybe you don't agree with them right away, having those conversations.
I think about that all the time. Thank you. And I think the question is, none of us want our child to die.
Yeah.
We all agree on that.
Yeah.
So where do we go from there?
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah.
Finding the common ground.
Yeah.
Which I think is anything, right, in life, is finding that common ground and then branch out from there.
Yeah, because it's getting to a point where it's just like your thoughts and prayers aren't doing anything. Like, we need to actually take action. So, I mean, it's getting to the point where it's just like, we found the common thing we could all agree on. We don't want our kids to be killed in any way, let alone like this violent way, from this one source. Like, gun violence is like becoming like the leading
That's so
means of it
preventable.
happening.
There's no other countries that have this problem. So do what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
They have various political parties as well, but they also have gun safety in place. And they don't have this problem.
Yeah. There are so many ways to get around this.
We can cheat off of our neighbor, and people don't want to.
Easily, yeah, because we just get so caught up in this romanticized fiction of America and just like, this is who we are and what we do. And it's just like, we're so far removed from the reality of that now that it's like we do have to take a long look in the mirror and just be like, hey, we've gone down a path that isn't productive or helpful for anybody.
Well,
and it's, in fact, going against the grain.
Well, and at the end of the day, when amendments and everything were written, the world didn't look like it does now.
Yeah,
so
a bunch of 26-year-old white dudes in wigs. Like, I mean, like maybe they didn't have the best ideas for sustainability for hundreds of years. Maybe they had like a couple good ideas to get us to the end of this century.
If you told them what we have now as far as like technology alone, their heads would explode. They'd be like, what do you mean we have access to all
we
these
have access
things?
to that? And also, you didn't update it? What do you mean you didn't update the rule book? Like, we have all this stuff now. Like, we wrote with peacock feathers. Like, and you're still trying to figure out.
Right.
Like,
I mean, let's look at sports, right? Hockey, the rules have changed based off of studies that they are doing when it comes to the brain and injuries and everything like that. So they're rewriting the rules for hockey based off of data. Why can't we do that in other ways?
We've got to have more children skating around on knives. And I think that might be the thing that's the catalyst for the positive change. Not enough kids are ice skating. Maybe that's what it is.
I mean, I'm saying.
Because we have the NFL and they're definitely not trying to do anything to help people's injuries and things. So maybe the skates.
That must be it.
It must be the skates.
Ice skates, everybody.
It's got to be the ice skates. Should we get into the rapid fire for the end of it? Because this has been a great conversation. We thank you so much for coming on and answering these questions and being it takes a lot of strength to go through what you went through, but also to build yourself up and the foundation that you've built, and still, after all this time, be an advocate for coming into the spaces of like, let's have this conversation, let's educate people, let's show folks that they're not alone in what they're doing. So we really appreciate that you came here to have this conversation with us. But we do have some more lighter-hearted rapid fire questions that we'll get through here. So what is one song that no matter how tired you are, it makes you want to get up and dance in the kitchen?
Gotta represent the Bay Area. Mac Dre, feeling my
Yeah!
Let's go. I told my son to play that at my funeral.
No!
So now somebody else, let the record show. That's going to be my celebration of life dance, okay?
And
It's
coming
gonna-
off Super Bowl weekend, I feel like, we got to shout out the Bay.
We gotta shout out the Bay.
That's right.
Shout out to La Russell doing the dang thing,
Yes.
representing the Bay. He's
Hint,
from
hint,
the
nudge,
Bay. Nudge, nudge. Come on our podcast. But yeah, no, wholeheartedly. Like, oh God, Mac Dre, feeling myself. And that'll be played at you for your funeral. And in true Mac Dre fashion, we will make sure that a Polaroid is taken of you in your wake.
Thank you.
We will all just
Mission accomplished.
because that's what they did at Mac Dre's funeral. I remember when it happened, and I was just like, why are people taking pictures in the way?
But now that we have this recorded, if you were to put that in your will, people are like, well, she wasn't in her right mind when she said it. Here it is.
She said it. We're here now, y'all. Like,
Confirmed.
we have it.
Witnesses.
That is as good and legally binding as a will is saying on the Two Tired Parents podcast. Like, you've got to play "Feeling Myself" by Mac Dre. And then once the actual you're put in the ground, we start the thizzle dance.
Yeah.
If you could spend 1 hour in any decade just for the fashion and the music, what decade are you picking?
So tough, so many decades, but immediately 50s. I just love the 50s.
Like Back to the Future, like that time.
I think so.
It is
I
a
could
nice.
also go 20s. I could go 40s. Gosh, that's tough.
This is true.
Are there like certain songs from that you're like, oh, well, this, or like even groups or anything?
I just love doo-wop. I love swing. I like ragtime. So when I'm not listening to Mac Dre, it's all over from classical, opera, jazz.
I love that.
I mean, we have only been inside the like aura of the 50s as much as our friends got married in the Universal Studios backlot where they filmed Back to the Future at the Clock Tower. Yeah. And it felt very 50s. And so it felt very, very nice.
Yeah.
There
What did
is
you
that.
wear? I would like to know.
Oh, God.
They wanted it to be themed. And so I think I did like a yellow plaid dress.
Yes.
I don't remember what you wore. I'm sorry.
I wore that multicolored button down that I had. Yes, that one multicolored button down that I had because I like them. And so I had that, some jeans and some Converses on.
I think like Robin was like 8 or 9 months old,
He
so
was
he's
a
never
baby.
gonna appreciate how cool it was.
But he slept on me when the ceremony started. So it's like everybody's like on the grass in front of the clock tower, and I was back by the gas station, and I just had him sleeping on me.
He did get to sit in the DeLorean though.
He did get to sit inside the DeLorean. That is very, very true. So yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think that makes sense. And finally, can you give us a 1-sentence life motto that the two tired parents should adopt this week?
Every moment matters.
Every moment matters.
Yeah.
This is very, very true. Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much, having.
Thank you so much.
Thank
This was absolutely fantastic. If you want to say to the camera where people can find you online and anything that you want to promote.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes.
Opportunity here.
Yes.
InHarmonyMusic.com, InHarmonyFoundation.org. Find us on Instagram, InHarmonyMusicCA, InHarmony Music Foundation. We'd love to connect, continue to grow our community. I think everybody has something to add here, so I welcome you to get involved.
Yes. And if you're not local to Benicia, California, and you can't support those causes, find the causes in your community that are of the same type of mind and see what the meaning is and the motivation is behind the foundations that exist in your area. And I promise you, you will find a very strong community of people uplifting each other that will give you hope in society. So, Justine, we really appreciate that you came out today. For those of you watching and listening, sound off in the comments. Let us know if you've been through something as challenging as this, or
What
if
was
you
your
found
catalyst?
what was your catalyst for change? Yeah, in your own life. If you're one who doesn't necessarily subscribe to everything happening for a reason, but you do like the idea of a catalyst for positive change in the world, what was your catalyst for change? So sound off in the comments, like, subscribe, share, all the fun stuff. This has been the Two Tired Parents Podcast. I'm Myles Weber.
I'm Heather Weber.
And we will see y'all next time.
Bye.